All right, the wipe is here. We're all poor, and we're looking for guns that we can use to drop any enemy that we come across, whether it's another PMC, Scav boss, guard, raider, whatever. I'm Jessekazam. Welcome back to another Escape from Tarkov video. And in this video, we're going to be talking about some guns that you can get pretty early on and kind of going through what you can get. And I'll be giving my thoughts on why certain guns are better or worse and kind of help hopefully guide you through what's best for you. If you like the video, think about dropping a like, commenting down below, or subscribing to the channel. That stuff helps me out a ton. And I stream Escape from Tarkov on Twitch. All my links will be down below. I'd love to have you stop by and say hey. But with all that out of the way, let's go ahead and dive right in. So to start off with, at the end of the day, you're going to have to use what you can get your hands on. There's not a whole lot that's available to you to purchase straight up from the traders. And to be honest with you, a lot of times we're trying to save up our money and invest it in other places like hideout upgrades, quest items, buying and selling from traders so that we can get them up to higher levels and that kind of stuff. So if you're like me, a lot of times your stash just looks like this. It's just a hodgepodge of things you're collecting, of guns that you get your hands on, stuff you might find in a stash. I found an MP7. I didn't want to sell it, but I can't buy good ammo for it yet. It kind of goes all over the place. So at the end of the day, we're oftentimes going to use what we have. So my first kind of like point, the biggest thing I can give for advice is learn what you like to use and use more of that. And if you're using other things, use the gun the way that gives you the most success with that gun. So that being said, like on my stream, I talk all the time, I'm terrible with pistols because I like using full auto guns a little bit more. I like SMGs. I like small, tight guns with low recoil, and I can just aim for the head and just kind of spray it down. And for the quest stirrup, you have to kill PMCs with pistols. And I was oftentimes putting myself in a bad position and basically treating it like a full auto gun, just like spam clicking, trying to get kills, as opposed to engaging from a little bit more distance and trying to like pick my shots and get a clean head tap. So the biggest piece of advice, I know this is a budget gun guide, but is whatever gun you can get from dead scavs or whatever, if you're going to use that gun, use it like it's supposed to be used. Full auto M4s and stuff like that and AKs are going to have a ton of recoil early game, so bursts or tap firing are huge. And learn the gun, learn how to use it. But like we said, find a style of gun that you like to pick. Like I said, I love SMGs, I like full auto guns, and figure out how to get your hands on more of those and then sell some of the stuff that you don't like if you're in a position to do that. But there are so many guns that are able to be got off of scavs. So many, I mean, like 8Rs, AKs, shotguns, Mosins, a bunch of stuff. Sniper scavs can have SKSs with PSO scopes on them, or even SVDs sometimes, SV98s. There's a ton of guns that you can get your hands on. So that's a great way to get some either money or to get some guns if you're really, really on a budget and you don't really have any money. But I've got a few level 2 traders. For the most part, we're still level 1. I mean, we're just a day or two into the wipe. So we can go through some of like what I would say like honorable mentions are for guns that I feel like are pretty good value right out the gate when you start to play. So starting with Rapport, of course, you can get a bunch of the AKs from him. Some of them you can buy at level 1. Most of them you kind of have to just barter for. But one of the best, in my opinion, guns that you can get from him is the PP19. It's 9mm, it's full auto, it's cheap, 21,000 rubles. The mags are cheap, the ammo's cheap, and 50 vertical recoil. I mean, like back in the day at the end of the wipe, you know, if you got an AKM or an FFL to 50 vertical recoil, you were like, oh, that's meta. So it's not insane recoil. You're not running into too many guys with crazy armor or anything, and it's full auto. So if you're a full auto guy like I am, this can be very helpful early wipe because everything for it is pretty cheap. The thing is, you're not really going to find these on scavs, so every time you die, you're buying a new one. So you can either farm guns off scavs and sell them, or just kind of use whatever you can get your hands on. The Klin and the Keter you can get at level 2, and they're pretty solid as well. Once again, low recoil, low-ish recoil. High fire rate weapons are going to do pretty good early wipe. The Mosin is something you can get off scavs. The Mosin is, you know, the complete opposite of the full auto. It's more of the one tap, the one click, trying to get headshots, or if you hit someone in the chest, especially if they don't have great armor, you're going to mess them up. Really low ergo, and they're bolt actions, and it's hard to kind of get the optics for them sometimes. You're going to be rocking iron sights for the most part. You have to get to level 2 so that you can get the PU kind of optic and all the different accessories there. But the Mosin is good. AKs, it's really up to you. Like I said, they're high recoil. Something like an AKM, if you can barter for it, or if you're at level 2, 762 PS, which you can get day 1, is a really good round. It's got over 30 pen. It's got decent damage. That round is actually going to do really well. But once again, you've kind of got to, tap fire with it and hit your shots. Once you do get to level 2, rapport, you can have the KS-23, which is 45,000. I don't know if you'd call it budget. That's up to you. Budget is kind of subjective. And you can get the Shrap 10 rounds. So that's actually incredibly devastating if you can get your hands on that early. I haven't used one yet, but they're devastating. Pistols. A quick thought on pistols. I am terrible with pistols. I hate using pistols in Escape from Tarkov, but a huge benefit to them is that you're oftentimes maximizing how much you can take out of a raid. Being able to take out 2 full-size weapons and not have to be worrying about your backpack slot is definitely going to help with money making, or if you're just trying to farm guns. So there's definitely something to be said there. You using 9mm, so it's up to you on if you like using pistols, but you can get them for cheap, 13,000 rubles, and we can just move right down to Peacekeeper, where the other major pistol that you can get early on is the M9, which is 111 USD that you can get from level 1. So that's a pretty solid place to be, and 2 solid pistols if you like using them. They're not for me, really. At level 1 Peacekeeper, it's really just the MP5 Curse, which I would not suggest because I would basically rather use a pistol. This thing is just kind of crazy. I mean, I guess close range. Oh, it's totally up to you. Use the Curse if you like, but it is pretty cheap. It is full auto, but it's just kind of like a meme, basically. But people like to use them, so you can also barter. Grab some scav knives and barter for an MP5. I love MP5s. We're in that same range as kind of the PP19. It's got low recoil for a base gun. You don't really have to do anything to it. It's got full auto. The iron sights are decent. The mags are pretty cheap. Ammo's pretty cheap. So this is a great thing. Just collect those scav knives. Every time you do a scav raid, if he has a brown one, just throw it in your inventory and you can start trading for MP5s. Once you get level 2, you definitely open up some other things. You open up the brand new UMP, the MP9, the MPX, the RFB. So you definitely are opening up a whole new world by getting Peacekeeper to level 2. The RFB is going to be a monster if you've got some M80. It is expensive, but it's basically the budget 308 gun. It's going to be a monster early game if you can get a hold of some M80 or some 308. The MPX, the MP5, and the MP9, it's basically choose your flavor. If you just want to go with the cheapest one, the MP9 is there, but more full auto 9mm, and then you can grab a UMP for $400 as well. Early game, really the only other person that's going to be selling guns is Skier. You can barter early for a ADAR with a rec battery. You can barter for a Vepr with 2 horses. You can purchase yourself a 209. Not my favorite gun, but once again, it all ends up just being what you like to use. You can get a Taz early, and you can get the Saiga, which is like the semi-auto version of the PP19. If I'm spending 16,000 rubles, I'm probably either just going to buy a pistol or I'm going to buy a PP19. But once you open up level 2 Skier as well, you can get a hold of the Vector, which is dope. You can purchase the ADAR and you can purchase the Veprs now, which are both solid guns. The other thing to note is shotguns. Shotguns are actually really good now. So last wipe, during the wipe, they were constantly messing with the shotgun, adjusting some of the ammos, adjusting the spread. Shotguns have a much better range than a lot of people think. You're not going to be sniping with them, but some buckshot, especially if you can get some Magnum buckshot, shotguns are devastating right now. Nobody's really rocking face shields, and buckshot is nice. So you can get Saigas, which are the semi-auto, mag-fed shotguns off Scavs all the time, MP153s, and oftentimes you can find them with the 8-round mags, are huge. And you can purchase some of the pump action ones. Once you get Jaeger level 1, you can purchase the MP133, or you can barter for a 153, or you can purchase a 590. So you can purchase some pump action ones. Like we said, you can get the KS-23 once you get to level 2 per pour. So you can purchase some of those, but shotguns are definitely something that not to be slept on this patch. Even I, who absolutely hates shotguns, was actually really surprised. Like first few raids, picking them up and using them, you can absolutely drop people. So that's kind of just the overview of a few budget weapons that you can purchase from the early game traders and some general thoughts on them. At the end of the day, these videos are hard to make because if I say that, you know, this shotgun is the best budget early game Chad killer, if you suck with shotguns, if you're a full auto kind of guy, or if you're not playing the right way, you're going to still struggle with that. So I wanted to do more of an overview of my thoughts on some of the things. If you want to go full auto, then maybe go PP19. If you want to go, you know, shotgun, try to get a semi-auto one. More of that general direction of my thoughts on the best for each caliber and for each kind of platform early game. But at the end of the day, it's up to you. So I hope that this helped. I hope that this maybe breakdown you didn't know. Now you know you want to go for level 2, you know, Skier or Peacekeeper first, and you can kind of focus that down. Or this just kind of reminded you to be out there farming scavs and getting some of those good guns as well. But hopefully it helps you kind of figure out what you want to do and what you want to run in Escape from Tarkov in the early wipe. Thank you so much, as always, for taking the time to check out the video. If you liked the video, drop a comment down below with your favorite early game budget gun. Drop a like on the video or subscribe to the channel for more content like this. All that stuff helps me out a ton. Like we said before, I stream Escape from Tarkov on Twitch. All my links will be down below. And if you're looking for people to play with, the Discord link is down below as well. We've got about 4,000 people in there that would love to squad up, help with quests, answer questions, all sorts of stuff like that. Thank you again for stopping by, and I will definitely see y'all on the next one.